Hey there, welcome over here today. I'm going to be showing you some of my all-time favorite holiday side dishes. These side dishes are especially perfect for Christmas time or Hanukkah, just around this winter time of year. But anyways, I hope you enjoy these wonderful side dishes, and if you are new here, we would love to have you. So go ahead and subscribe down below the video, but let's get to cooking. We're gonna start out by making this beautiful macaroni and cheese. It's my favorite macaroni and cheese ever. So I'm just gonna start by shredding up 2 cups of this extra white cheddar cheese and 4 cups of this medium cheddar cheese. Over to my large pot of some boiling water, I'm just adding my 16 ounces of elbow pasta noodles, and I'm going to cook these noodles up. And now that they are through cooking, I got out a large bowl and I'm going to add our drained pasta noodles to this bowl, and I'm going to drizzle in a couple tablespoons of some olive oil and stir it all together to ensure the noodles don't stick while we begin to work on our cheesy mixture. Now we're going to begin on our cheesy mixture. So to get it started in my Dutch oven, I melted down 6 tablespoons of some butter. Once it was melted down, I added in our 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, whisked this all together until the flour began to be golden brown, and now I'm slowly adding in our 3 cups of whole milk and 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. You do not want to add it in all at once or else it will probably get clumpy. You want it nice and smooth, so just add your milks in slowly. I whisked this very frequently until I saw bubbles on the surface, and then I continued to whisk it until it got a little bit thicker for about 2 minutes. Next, I added in our salt and pepper along with our 1.5 cups of some sharp cheddar cheese, and then our cup of some of that white cheddar cheese, and you're going to whisk these cheeses all together. Now that we have our cheesy mixture all creamy, delicious, and rich, I'm going to be adding in our previously cooked up elbow pasta noodles, and I'm going to mix this all together. You pretty much want the cheese to coat all of these noodles. I'm just going to set this aside, and now we're going to work on our breadcrumb mixture. This breadcrumb mixture is pure gold. It is so good. So to this bowl, I'm adding 1.5 cups of some panko breadcrumbs along with 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, and 1/4 teaspoon of some smoked paprika or regular paprika. You're just going to mix this all together to get everything combined. To assemble our macaroni and cheese, I sprayed my 9x13 baking dish with some nonstick spray, and then I added half of our cheesy mixture to the pan, and then on top of that I added about 1/2 cup of our white cheddar cheese along with 1 cup of our sharp cheddar cheese that we hand shredded. This is going to make this so rich and delicious. I love this macaroni and cheese recipe. My daughter especially loves it. It's just a family favorite. And then you're going to do this again. You're going to add the remainder of the macaroni and cheese, and then add some of that white cheddar cheese again, and then sharp cheddar cheese, and then on the very top you're going to add your panko breadcrumb mixture. I did add some more sharp cheddar cheese on top, mainly for looks. This bakes in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. Here is the finished product. Like I said before, this macaroni and cheese is spot on, perfect. It really is delicious. It's a perfect side dish if you're wanting to make it on the side, or this is also a great meal by itself. Now we're making some Brussels sprouts. You can't have a holiday dinner without Brussels sprouts. So I have 1 pound of Brussels sprouts that I cleaned off. I'm just cutting the very ends that are a little bit dirty, and then I'm taking the outer leaves off because those tend to be dirty as well. Next, I'm just cutting them in half, and I did this with all of my Brussels sprouts. I put my Brussels sprouts in this medium-sized bowl, and then I drizzled a tablespoon and a half of olive oil on top. Now I'm just sprinkling some salt and pepper on top of that. That is pretty much just to taste. And then you're going to mix this all together to get these Brussels sprouts coated in the oil. To my sheet pan lined with aluminum foil, I'm going to place my Brussels sprouts right on there. This is going to go into a preheated oven to 425 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes, or until these are to the softness that you like them to be. These are the Brussels sprouts straight out of the oven. You could stop here and serve them just like this, but to add more flavor, I'm going to place these back into the bowl, and then I'm going to add an additional tablespoon of some olive oil right on top here, and then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of some balsamic vinegar, or you could add balsamic glaze. That's going to add quite a lot of flavor. Next, this is kind of strange, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of honey, but this is going to add great texture and flavor. I just stirred this all together, and once everything was coated, it is ready to serve. Here are my Brussels sprouts in my serving bowl. These came out really super good. We just love making Brussels sprouts on the side for holiday dishes. They just are super simple to throw together. Also, Brussels sprouts have great nutritional value. This one is so much fun. We're making Christmas tree spinach dip breadsticks. Like I said, this one is a fun one. I removed my pizza crust from the tin. This is just a thin pizza crust from the brand of Pillsbury. I rolled it out on my cutting board just like this, and now we're going to make it into a tree. So I cut it just like this, and now I'm going to put both of the outer edges on my sheet pan lined with parchment paper, and I'm going to make this dough into a tree, and this is going to be very festive and cute in the end. You see how I'm just molding it like this. Now we're going to work on our spinach mixture. I have 12 ounces of frozen chopped spinach that I thawed, and I'm just squeezing it dry to the best of my ability, just in a normal old towel. This is just a kitchen towel, and you see that most of the moisture is gone at this point. So I set that aside, and now into this bowl I'm adding 6 ounces of cream cheese that is softened, along with our 12 ounces of chopped up spinach. I'm just going to beat this together with my electric mixer, or you could use a spoon, but it will just take a little bit longer. You just want this incorporated together. Now that I did beat this together, I'm just squeezing in my 3 cloves of some fresh garlic. You could also add some artichokes at this point. I've done it like that before, and it turns out really good. So now to add some flavor, I'm just adding some onion powder along with some Italian seasoning, salt, and pepper. The last couple ingredients I'm adding, it's just a 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese and a 1/2 cup of some mozzarella cheese. Once again, you're going to mix this all together. Now it's time. We're going to add our spinach mixture on our tree. This is just the tree that we made up a little bit earlier. I'm just going to spread our spinach mixture out to the best of my ability right on top. To add some more pizzazz, I'm adding more mozzarella cheese and Parmesan right on top here. This is just going to add some more flavor. So now with the second type of tree pizza crust that we made up, I just added it right on top here, and now we're going to be making the breadstick slits with my knife. So you see me cutting a little hole just like this, and then I'm just twisting it, and I'm doing this to each side until we get to the top. You're not going to cut it all the way through. The center is kind of going to be like the tree trunk. This is going to bake on 400 degrees for about 20 to 22 minutes. Here is my cute little Christmas tree out of the oven. Like I said previously, if you like artichokes, you could add some artichokes, but this is such a good appetizer or side dish for this holiday season. Green beans are another one of those veggies that are perfect for the holiday season. So we're making some garlic bacon green beans. I'm starting out with 6 strips of bacon that I'm slicing into smaller pieces. To my Dutch oven, I'm adding our bacon right in there, and I'm going to cook this bacon completely through. You want it more on the crispy side, in my opinion. I just think that adds the best flavor and texture in the end. Now that my bacon is nice and crispy and cooked through, I'm just removing it to a separate bowl lined with paper towel. I'm removing it with a slotted spoon so I could reserve the bacon grease in there. I have about a tablespoon of bacon grease reserved in my Dutch oven. I removed the extra bacon grease. I only saved a tablespoon in there, and then I added in my pound of green beans. I did trim the ends of the green beans and I cleaned them. Anyways, I'm just going to cook these green beans through. I did put the lid on top for quicker cooking. Now that they are cooked through and soft to the way I like them to be, I'm adding in my 3 cloves of garlic. I stirred this all together for about 20 seconds until that garlic became fragrant, and now I'm adding in our bacon bits that we cooked up earlier. I'm just going to stir this all together and warm our bacon through, and now it's ready to serve. Here is my plate of bacon green beans. These came out wonderful. The bacon just has so much flavor in them. Whenever I make green beans like this, it reminds me of like the holiday season, just because these are a little bit more fancy, I guess I should say. Now we're making some mashed potatoes. These are not your typical mashed potatoes. These are kicked up like 100 notches. They're really good. So I peeled and diced my 7 golden potatoes into smaller pieces. Now to a pot of some water, I'm adding our potatoes in there, and I'm going to get this boiling and soften these potatoes. Once they are softened, I just strained them. To our potatoes that are now fork tender and strained, I'm adding in our softened butter. This is 1/3 cup of softened butter along with 1 clove of garlic. If you're not a garlic fan, you could opt out of adding the garlic. Now I'm adding in our 1/2 cup of some heavy whipping cream along with some salt and pepper and 1/2 cup of some milk. I do eyeball it with the milks because sometimes I have to add more or just not put as much in, so just eyeball it is my opinion. But adding that heavy whipping cream adds so much richness and flavor. I'm just mashing these potatoes up. Here are my mashed potatoes, all cooked through and finished. These have such a wonderful creamy texture and the flavor is spot on. I love making mashed potatoes like this because they're just not your typical mashed potatoes. They're kicked up a lot of notches. And that is a wrap of this video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I wanted to wish you a happy holidays from my family. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe and healthy. It is getting pretty cold here in New Mexico.